Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 10 of the Normally Online podcast. We made it to the double digits.
Woo!
Woo! And I think we've been pretty normally online this week. I know Aaron has been maybe on the most normie social media platform out there. Would you care to enlighten us with your exploits?
Yeah, so I was looking where could we bring the podcast to the audience? And I was like, I don't really want to go to Twitter. We've already been there, done that. But I was like, I haven't tried Threads. So I went ahead and made a normally online pod account on Threads if you want to follow. I've threaded two things. So, I'm building
You've
a
threaded two
platform on there.
things.
Yeah, it's not a tweet. What do you call it on Threads? Post, I guess.
A string.
Oh,
A string, a strand, maybe.
A strand, perhaps.
So here's a funny thing. I don't think I can see what you've been threading because the normally online pod account uses my phone number, which I think locks me out of making a Threads account with my own like meta account.
Yeah.
So I hope you're behaving over there.
Oh,
He's behaving. He said so far, loved the internet. And what up, fellow threadheads? I'm a humble podcast looking for oomphies. Smirking emoji.
No bites on that one yet. But I think tweeting that I was looking for oomphies, threading, God, that's going to be tough to get used to.
Mm-hmm.
Put me on the follow for follow algorithm. Because, and Threads does not have a follower feed. It only has a algorithmic feed. And I thought I would just read you some of these. This is an unedited list of the threads I've been fed at this moment. Everyone under 500, gather here. Let's help you grow that account. I only have 14 followers. Let's support. I'm trying to hawk twa on it. Men who eat cat with heart eyes emoji for their own pleasure. Where ya at? 10 more followers to reach 300.
Can we follow that person with the cat emoji?
Yeah, maybe. I'll think about it.
Yeah.
But here's my favorite one of the bunch. 2024 fun fact. 80% of single men are no longer interested in dating. They aren't even putting in the effort anymore. What's going on? And I thought Threads was going to be like wholesome Twitter. It's not, man. It is awful. It's just when I first made the account, so like completely fresh algorithm, I had literally just made it. The entire feed was just selfies of women saying like, please follow me.
Oh, yeah.
I do like the reply you had to somebody, Aaron. I see the replies. It was somebody being like, I feel like quitting alcohol is the new quitting cigarettes. Everyone's doing it. And you just replied, not me. With a period.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah.
That is really good, especially because 2/3 of the podcast doesn't drink. And you were like, nah, man.
No, not me.
He's outnumbered, but he's the vocal minority.
Outnumbered, but not outgunned.
Exactly.
My feed on Threads, I think I'm on Little Hooligan thread algorithm because it's just all guys talking about scams that they pulled off. This first one, guys, what's a random scam you pulled off at work? A client once found our 30-page report too long, so I reduced the font size by 2 points, and the report was 22 pages. He saw it and said, guys, this is fantastic. That's what my feed is.
Damn, that's crazy. How did you...
It's just like mundane office scamming.
Like,
no, that's just what I thought I'd like.
You just stumbled on office scam threads.
Yes.
Interesting. Yeah, I've never been on Threads. They do the thing on Instagram, where if you scroll through your feed long enough, you start seeing some thread posts.
Yeah.
Some strings, if you will. And those are always very normal and like interesting. And then I always get the urge to make a Threads account, but I still haven't. And I'm glad that those are just a psyop to get me to sign up.
Yeah.
See,
Because
I'm
apparently-
wondering if I think you might just have to wrangle the algorithm. I believe in Threads. I think there might be gold under the piles
Really?
and piles of garbage.
Because when it came out, it came out when had Elon already bought Twitter, or was it like
Yeah, it was. I believe like pretty soon after he bought Twitter.
Yeah, right. And then everyone was like, "We're moving to Threads."
And then everyone moved to Threads, and they're like, "Never mind."
Well, I remember I couldn't even move to Threads at the time because of the privacy implications that that Meta was pushing through, and the EU was like, "No, leave the Americans on that for now. we're good on that."
No, I'm good.
I don't have an Instagram account, so I was not allowed to join either. I was like,
Yep.
I'll give it a shot. And then they're like, oh, you don't have an Instagram? Too bad. You can't be a threader.
Wait, that means you have an Instagram account now with the normally online.
Yes.
So
I
so
do.
I can finally send you Instagram reels. Yes.
I don't have the app, so I won't be seeing them.
Man.
You know what? That's another rant I could go on. I had to go through more security to make an Instagram account than I did to get a driver's license, man. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I made the account, and literally with the second I made it, it said you've been suspended. If you want to appeal it, you can. And I had to send a picture of myself to verify my identity to have an Instagram account.
Holy crap, I love that.
And they made I had to wait 24 hours for them to review the picture. It's crazy.
To be fair, I think they do take your picture when you get your driver's license too, right?
Well, yeah, but
No, I'm just joshing with you.
they don't make you wait. They don't say this started with "you've been banned." Send in a picture if
Yes.
you want to get unbanned.
Banned by default.
The very first, I just pulled up the our Gmail, and the very first email we got from Instagram is "action needed on your account. Take action or lose access to normally online pod."
So I guess we do also have an Instagram if you want to follow there.
Yes.
One thing I do like about Aaron not having an Instagram, though, and being a real enjoyer myself, is that not like a real, like, I'm not fake, but real is in like the, I just want to make that clear. Yeah, make that very abundantly clear. I have to send reels that I like, and if I want to send them to Aaron, I could send them on Discord, have him open up reels on like a web app or something. Or I could send them to his wife. And his wife gets to watch them too, which I think is very funny. And even better, sometimes I'm the liaison. This one time, Damesco, you came up to me and you were like, "Hey, can you send this to Callie? Because I don't want the only message I've sent to Callie to be this video."
So I send them to you so you can send them to Callie so she can show them to Aaron.
Yes.
Which does save me some time because I don't want to click share and then copy link, then open Discord and then paste it to Aaron. Like that's
yeah. And every time she watches it and goes, "What did that even mean?" I don't even. What's the she? A lot of the time, it's supposed to be humorous, and she's like, "I don't even know where the joke is supposed to be in this video."
That's part of the kick that I get out of it too, just knowing that it's like too far gone,
Yeah. I mean, the reason I think that you have to take a picture of yourself is that Mark Zuckerberg is rebuilding his literal Facebook. There have been too many fake accounts, too many business accounts, too many people deactivating their Facebook accounts. And now he's like, "You want to get on Threads? Send me a cute little picture of yourself." Of you looking scrumptious.
I did actually have my cousin made an Facebook. She deleted it a while ago and then made a new one. And because, if you ever see a brand new account that's a relative of yours that adds you as a friend.
Yeah.
Like that's immediate, like some flags are going up, right? Mm-hmm. I'm like, no shot. Like I'm just about to report this fake account. And then I text. I'm just like, "Yo, is this actually you?" And she's like, "Oh yeah." So people are getting back to Facebook.
I think that's mostly for like the marketplace, right?
Exactly. That's why she was back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. You get it.
I thought about it too. So, funny story about deleting your Facebook account. I want to say like 8-ish years ago, there was a mass exodus in the Netherlands because there was like a popular news item about how they're stealing all your data. And I think at the time I randomly like tweeted about how I was leaving Facebook, which is the most like online thing you can do. I'm glad I'm not that person anymore. But then a random journalist slid into the DMs and he was like, "Hey, can we call for an interview? I'm writing an item on this big, exodus of Facebook."
Wow.
And I was in college at the time, and when you're in college, you think you know everything. So I'm giving this, oh yeah, I'm doing a digital media studies and communication, so this is how it works, and this is the kind of data they're stealing.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought I was being very insightful, and then they published the interview, and then I get screenshots from of Facebook reactions to that article from friends of mine calling me the biggest idiot in the world. Yo, that Damesco guy should shut the fuck up. He doesn't know what he's talking about. To be fair, I was right in the end, but that really hurt my ego.
Yeah, did it ever recover, or are you still scrounging for ounces of ego?
I genuinely think that's one of the reasons I don't post as much online anymore. And honestly, it's for the best.
Huh. I had an ego boost recently. I don't know if we were ready to switch topics yet, but I went to a restaurant, right? I went to this Japanese restaurant that's around me. And I'm not like a regular there, but I show up enough where like they sort of recognize me, and once or twice they've been like, "Oh, where do you work?" Like that type of thing. I'm like, "Oh yeah, over here." Yeah,
well, it's complicated.
Yeah, they didn't ask me that this time. Otherwise, it would have been complicated. But they did something they'd never done before. Instead of just giving me a fork, they gave me chopsticks.
Oh.
And I was like, "Oh, like, do I have to prove myself?" And then like. Mm-hmm. This was with the food, and they like lingered around a little bit too long, and I was like, I have to prove myself. Like, so I take out the chopsticks, I hold them, and I like pick up a little piece of my chicken katsu, and then I eat it. And like, I don't think they really cared at all, but in my mind, it was something like, they're just like, yeah, we're giving you Excalibur right here, and we're seeing if you're worthy of wielding it. And like, just hovering around a second too long just to see if I could. And then afterwards being like, yep, this guy's the real deal. He knows how to use chopsticks. And like, I'm not good at them. Do you guys remember learning how to use chopsticks?
No.
Never did.
Never did?
I know how, but I didn't learn. I just picked them up one day and knew how to use them.
You just got it downloaded from the ether?
Yeah, I think I just think, anime food looked so good that I just learned how to use chopsticks.
I remember learning off of a Noodles and Company wrapper when I was like 8. Okay. Like I'm eating mac and cheese with extra cheese on it with chopsticks, reading it off the back of the wrapper, which I think is the most Midwestern way to learn how to use chopsticks.
Aaron, can you, because I've never had mac and cheese, I'm not from the Midwest, mac and cheese with chopsticks, is that a thing? Confirm or deny?
No, I actually really do like the idea of like a Japanese person coming to America for the first time and going to Noodles and Company, being like, "Oh, I like noodles," and eating their mac and cheese with chopsticks. Because no one does that.
My excuse, though, is that I was like 7 or 8, so I was sort of like foreign to this world still, like you haven't had a lot of conscious time on this planet yet, so that's my excuse.
Yeah, at that age, chopsticks are fun. Now they're just kind of like scary,
They're kind of scary. What type of chopsticks are you using, man?
They are a tool to embarrass yourself with.
I see.
See, yeah. I'm a cereal chopstick user. Every time I'm eating my
chopsticks
beans,
with cereal?
Yes.
You're telling me a shrimp fried this rice?
Did you guys see the Twitter furry who got arrested for shooting a missile at his neighbor?
What the fuck? No.
What's going on with furries right now?
Yeah, they're having.
I think they're having a moment. Yeah. They've entered the internet panopticon and they're not leaving without a fight.
Yeah, so there's this Twitter furry that I don't know if this is real, but someone found a sheriff's report on them where they were arrested for homicide in the first degree, weapon offense, missile into dwelling.
Missile into dwelling.
He shot a missile at his neighbor's house.
Was it on purpose? Like, I don't know if they put intent in the report, but like,
I don't know. Just, like, it's a first degree homicide, so whatever first degree means.
Oh, it's a homicide too.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. When your argument gets a bit too heated and you just got to set off your missile launcher. Who has a missile launcher laying around?
Yeah.
What?
And it's so he stopped tweeting in September of last year, and it's so funny being like, "Oh, I can't run my furry Twitter account anymore, man. I'm busted."
Too busy being in jail.
So, Jonas, you mentioned that the furries are back in full force. What have you got anything furry related?
Yeah, I mean, I saw some sad news, more with death, but one of the dudes who ran a large website for furries died because of how shitty the healthcare in the US is. He like went in for a lung problem. They dismissed him, charged him $25,000, and he was like, I literally cannot go back, and I feel like I'm coughing my lung out. And then he passed away.
Good Lord.
Yeah. So that one is not as energetic or exciting. It's just like the US, I read it well, learning that people in the Olympics, US athletes have been going and taking advantage of the free healthcare they give at the Olympics.
Oh my
because
God.
of how bad it is. Like, they're going in and they're like, yeah, I've had all these problems for years, and now this is like the first time I'm going to get seen, and I don't have to like pay it an arm and a leg. Instead, I can just keep them.
Jesus.
Yeah. That's not a problem you have in the Netherlands.
No, I've been in the hospital 10 days in the last 3 years. And not only is it, kind of free. I do pay for healthcare, but it's not, not going to break the bank. But I don't get how it works because I also just didn't have to do like any paperwork at all. I just leave the hospital and they're like, yeah, no, we'll take care of it. That shit owns.
They stole some of your DNA to locate you. They're like, yeah, we know this guy's ass. We took a piece of it.
Yeah. Skin grafting. Yeah. I got something that is mildly furry related. And I'm going to make some enemies as I say this, but I'd say that the furry dom and Nintendo fans there might be some crossover there.
Well, Pokemon exists.
Yeah. So a friend of mine, he used to be a webcomic artist and has recently opened his commissions. And he made what some might consider a crucial mistake. I thought it was a genius move by also allowing NSFW commissions, not safe for work, basically porn. And he said in his commission that you pay extra for that. And people don't seem to mind that because he has sent me a couple of the requests that he has gotten. And they are haunting, harrowing even. He has given me the go-ahead to talk about it because some of these are vile. I'll start with a safer work one from someone who had no idea how much something like this would cost. This person requested an art spread of 77 characters.
Oh my God.
Full body. All of them unique characters, so it's a lot of design work. And Buddy gave him a quote that was $7,700 US, and the dude replied, "Quote, damn, that's a lot."
Yeah.
And then a few moments later sent another email. Okay, so ignore this commission. And then there's just some very very graphic, pornographic ones where they also sent like a drawing of how they want it. So they draw like stick figures. And they're like, okay, you make it look good, Magic Man. But the one that stuck with me the most, I'm just kind of scrolling up to find.
I am really curious what proportion of requests are like safe for work versus not safe for work from him, and I'm also curious what proportion of, because like you're saying like the not safe for work people, they seem to know it's going to be expensive. But like the safe for work people, I wonder if that's like a pretty standard experience. They're like, oh, I want this cute little piece of art for like my niece for the birthday or whatever, and it's just like $200, and they're like, I'm not paying that. I thought it was gonna be like $5. Like,
that is a good
like,
point.
Yeah,
because he gives me the updates, which thanks. And he's always like, I can't believe it, they actually agreed. Okay, so I'll read out one. Greetings, hope you're doing well. I have a request for a comic. Here are the details below. This is a comic page of Princess Zelda, based on her depiction in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. The comic has 4 or 5 panels and takes place in the Great Cave Offensive. I don't know what that is, it's probably from a Zelda game. The 5th panel is optional. Very nice. The first panel has Princess Zelda hiding behind trees, lamenting needing to go take care of private business, but being stuck in the middle of a fight. The second panel has a head-on view of Princess Zelda squatting with her dress and cape lifted and her pants down, and she is using her power to summon the Triforce of Wisdom portal just in time as she starts doing her thing to pass water into the portal. As she comments how this will have to make do. The third panel has a rear view of Princess Zelda continuing to do her thing, in addition to passing water. In addition to passing water, you may also choose to show Princess Zelda passing something more substantial than water into the portal while she bemoans how badly she needs to go. The fourth panel has a close-up of Princess Zelda's face as she smiles and sighs in relief and comments on how she's relieved being able to use the Triforce of Wisdom's power, so despite her embarrassment, and how no one will see anything. The fifth panel, parentheses optional, has a bird's eye view in front of Princess Zelda, or a worm's eye view behind Princess Zelda, as she sees that the Triforce of Wisdom portal is drawing in other characters, too much to her horror. I have a reference image of the depiction of Princess Zelda that is to be used.
Hearing that, I feel like we're violating HIPAA or something. Like, there's got to be something.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Dang.
So first off, I love how respectful they are.
Mm-hmm.
They are asking for one of the most disgusting things I've seen in quite a while. And hey, if that's your thing, that's your thing. But they're like, well, I can't say pissing and shitting.
Yeah, of course.
Like, that's just crass. I'm speaking to an artist here.
So you gotta elevate your language.
So you know who I'm talking about, by the way, the artist. You know the quality of their work. How much do you think they charged for this? It's a 4-panel comic. It's a 4-panel comic, by the way, that they went for. They agreed on the price.
I'm hearing.
He's actually making this?
Yes, he's making this.
Oh.
There's got to be a number, though, Aaron. There's got to be a number that if somebody said, I want you to draw this for me, you would do it too.
He said it would take about a day for him.
A day of drawing Zelda pissing and shitting into a portal.
Not just
I also like the part in like panel 3 where she says like, this'll do. Like,
yeah.
What? what is this gonna do?
Well, they're in the battle, and she has to go.
Also leaving room for a possible sequel, as the characters on the other side of the portal can return fire.
Exactly, yeah. Ganondorf can invade through the portal.
Okay, so here in the price, a full body character is $100. There's 5 pages here. And I'm guessing each page has maybe a couple of panels on it.
No,
like
4 panels. So this is 1 page.
4 panels, 1 page. Okay. I'm gonna say the not safe for work multiplier is probably a ×3.
Okay.
So 1,500.
Aaron?
I was gonna say, like, if it's anything less than $2,000, he is scamming himself. So I'll go $2,000.
Jonas, you are 100% correct. 1,500
Okay.
US dollars exactly. And here's the fucked up part. He sent me a picture of his PayPal. Money's already in his account. He hasn't drawn anything yet. What a world, huh? Art commissions.
Dude, I respect it.
I kind of do too, but also I don't.
No, I respect it. It's the grind. On both sides, you know? Like, the other person came in, they said what they wanted. They paid a hefty sum for it.
Mhm.
Like, everybody's
Yeah.
coming out winners here, I think. Except for the
I-
person on the receiving end of that portal.
I don't think. I don't know. I feel like the mental damage just is not worth 1,500. Like, if you're an artist who's into that, you know, go ahead, get your bag and whatever else you get from creating that. But if you're just like a normal guy, I don't know if that could be worth it, man.
Yeah.
$1,500 in one day, Aaron.
Yeah.
Okay, are you a guy like trying to recruit me to the strip club? Like, it's the same thing.
I don't think it's the same thing, but I'd do it if I was an artist. Absolutely. The fucked up part is I've been telling this guy to do this for years because I told him how much money there could be in it, and he was like, "No, I'm an artist. I'm an artist."
But now he's gotten a taste of the dark side.
Yep.
Is there like a Darth Patreon for artists like this, or do they just go on regular Patreon?
I think they go on a regular Patreon. Yeah.
I was
Patreon
gonna
is
say,
Darth Patreon.
Patreon.
I was gonna say that's where the real money's at. If you get established for doing this, you go on Darth Patreon, get subscribers to it, who then you just send out the commissioned work, and you know it's a never-ending cycle. You get paid for the commission, you get paid by the subscriber.
There's people who have like they've perfected the prompt engineering of making AI porn. And people are paying for that on Patreon too, man. That's the messed up part. People are so horny they're paying for AI porn now.
I hear that, like, with the start of the internet, like, the internet really took off when people discovered they could distribute porn over it.
Yeah.
Like, I think that is an insane driver of technology, which is really funny and comical to me. Where it's just like people discovering they can use a technology for porn, and they're like, yes, I'm going to understand this inside and out.
Yeah, it's the same with like VR goggles, right? They started making like VR porn immediately.
This has been quite an episode so far.
Yeah, I mean the last episode was too positive. Now we got to talk about.
We had to get freaky.
Again. Yeah. What
if we had the Normally Online podcast, but instead it was the Freakily Online podcast? And we talked about freaky things.
That's kind of what it already is. Yeah.
Normally Online After Dark. That's for the Patreon only. See, there you go, Darth Patreon.
Darth Patreon.
Darth Patreon.
And now, a word from our sponsor. We can have it be like Darth Patreon. That'd be sort of fun.
This episode of the Normally Online podcast is sponsored by Darth Patreon, your go-to site for supporting evil deeds. Have you ever wished you could give monthly donations to pirates? How about disease-spreading insects? You can even support mad scientists working to transcend humanity and bring about the end of days. Once again, thank you to Darth Patreon for sponsoring this episode of the show. Now let's get back into it. And we are back. And, you know, to get us back on a maybe more positive note here, I know this is the Darth episode.
Yeah.
But this is evil positivity, okay?
Oh.
So, as I've probably mentioned before, I'm a Dr. K viewer. He's a Harvard psychiatrist. And I put together a couple tips he gave to people for productivity and like self-direction. And I've created the perfect biohack, and I'm calling it mad scientist maxing, because when you combine all these things together, that's what it feels like. Okay. So mad scientist maxing step 1, mutter to yourself while you work on things.
Mutter to yourself. Okay.
Because there's a real psychological thing. I don't talk to me, talk to him. I'm not the neuroscientist here. But apparently speaking under your breath has a completely different brain reaction than like talking out loud to people, where talking under your breath and muttering sort of shapes your reality more because you're saying it to yourself, right? Like your brain is like, this is the thing I'm saying to myself so I can believe it and remember it. And the example he uses, like people with schizophrenia, one of the things you have to do is to teach them to stop muttering because it feeds into the delusions.
Oh, yeah. It's reinforcing.
Okay.
Right. So what you do
creating
instead,
your own delusion.
You create your own positive delusions by muttering to yourself. Just, while you're working, oh, I can do this. I can get there. I can do one more rep. I can do, whatever it is. One more spreadsheet. Bring it on.
Dame Sco, can I see you practice doing some mad scientist maxing? I feel like you could get this in the bag real quick.
I was gonna say, at first I was like, what the fuck is Aaron talking about when he says mad scientist maxing? But now the first tip, I'm already like, yeah, no, that's what a mad scientist would do.
Right? Okay, now let's go to tip number 2. And that is pacing around the room.
Oh, no.
I already do that.
Yep. So
I'm pacing right now, actually.
Okay, see, so you get
it.
Are
you actually?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
So the benefit of pacing is it gives you time to think while moving your body. It gives you a break and keeps you active at the same time. It's, it's a 1-2 punch. It's perfect.
Sort of this duality,
Yeah. And so you pace around the room, and while you're pacing, you mutter to yourself to really instill your ideas. And then the third one, this is one I came up with on my own to form the perfect trifecta of mad scientist maxing.
Yeah.
Is wring your hands together, because just because you're pacing, you could still be looking at your phone. But if you're wringing your hands together, you can't be scrolling Twitter. So wring your hands together, keep them warm, keep them going. And there you go. You've become the mad scientist, and you can do whatever you want. You've biohacked yourself into success.
So personally, I would swap number 3 for hands behind your back.
Okay, also that also works.
Classic.
Yeah.
While you're grumbling about those pesky adventurers who are invading your dungeon.
Yes.
I could also see piece of chalk. Carry piece of chalk.
Oh, yes. In your little front pockets, right?
Or just in your hands while you're muttering and pacing. You're like rolling a piece of chalk in your fingers.
Maybe like perhaps draw in the air,
Oh, yes.
Like a beautiful mind it.
Yeah. Yep. I like that. That's fun.
So have you been doing it?
I have been occasionally. The muttering, it sounds insane, but it works is the most messed up part. Like I've been working out at home somewhat. I haven't had the courage to bust this out at the gym, but if I mutter to myself out loud one more, I can always do one more. And you think you're at your limit, and then you bust out 3 or 4 more because you're just like, one more. Well, and you sound insane, but it works.
Dude, this is some anime shit. Like, I always make fun of the characters in anime for talking to themselves. Like, who the fuck is this guy talking to? No, he's unlocked mad scientist maxing.
I think I might do the muttering subconsciously already.
Oh, you've been mad scientist maxing this whole time.
I was born with that dog in me, with that mad scientist in me. No, when you said the gym, I was like, fuck, I kind of do this. like when I'm benching and I can feel my arms starting to wobble a little bit, I'm like, come on. and then you lock in and you get that final little rep in there.
I think that if you have a gym partner you're going with, it becomes a lot more okay to mutter because people just sort of assume that you're talking to each other, even if you're not, you know?
See,
Okay.
that's why I am trying to become schizophrenic, so I can always have a little gym buddy with me.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you have it.
So have you seen actual results too?
It's too soon in the process. As a
Oh,
proper
okay.
mad scientist, I don't have enough data points yet.
Yes, he needs to collect
Yeah.
some more, mutter some more. I don't
Yeah.
know if this
Mhm.
is good enough. I think I got to keep practicing this. I'm not quite sure, but I think it's yielding results. One thing that I do at the gym that I use to like visualize success, um, I like picture the blood flowing through my veins to whatever muscle I'm using.
Okay.
Um,
Oh.
yeah, and that helps me because it's like, oh yeah, get some fresh blood there, get some oxygen so you can just keep on going. And like I know that isn't actually what's going on, but it feels sort of cool. I'm like, oh yeah, just one more pump of the blood, a little bit more in the muscle. There you go. Take it or leave it. That's mad scientist adjacent, I feel.
I have cursed blood. I would never.
You try to avoid thinking about your blood as much as possible.
Yes. I don't want to know what the platelet status is these days. So, okay, last question about mad scientist, Maxi.
Hmm.
This is not something that Dr. K introduced to you, right? This is you took the learnings from Dr. K and put it in your own little
Correct. He
flow
gave me the
chart.
pieces. I put them together.
Beautiful.
Yep.
So Jonas, are you gonna be doing this? Because
Oh, I'm gonna be
you
trying
got
for
some spare
sure.
time, right?
Yeah, man, I got plenty of spare time and I already pace. All that I got to do is mumble. So mumble and
Wring
fiddle
your
with my
hands together.
hands.
Yeah.
Yeah, wring my
Yeah.
hands together.
Get off that phone.
Yeah,
Yeah, always with the phone.
yeah. Two online. No, but I got like a month in between this job and my next job. And I've been trying to figure out what to do with it that I won't be able to do. And the unique thing with this, maybe not unique, but like nice thing with the new job I'm getting, I'll be able to travel a lot still. So traveling isn't really something that's like, oh, do it while you can't. I'm thinking, what will I not be able to do when I have to be at my computer from 9 to 5 each day?
Hmm.
It's sort of
Hmm.
tricky. A lot of the things are like go be outdoors, off of technology, that type of stuff. I'm curious if you guys have any good ideas before I poison your minds with the couple of ideas I've already had. Like, how would you guys spend a month if you didn't have to be at your desk from 9 to 5 and you could be anywhere you really wanted to be?
Okay, I got one right off the dome.
Okay.
Based on recent events of the Olympics, I'm like, dude, it'd be so sick to just like train for a sport all day. You
Yes.
know, like
Yeah.
it is my responsibility to wake up at 8 and clock in at the rec center and just swim back and forth for hours.
Okay.
Or, I mean, you can pick whatever.
Yeah, you like train super hard for it. Your like diet is super strict. Like all of
Hmm.
your like relaxing activities are things that like help out your muscles. You're like going and getting massages and ice baths and that type of stuff, living the athlete experience.
Yes. Yeah. What about you, Damesco?
Yeah, something similar. I guess I would take the time to learn a skill or just something that you've always wanted to learn, but it's like you work 40 hours a week, and then we got the podcast, which is clearly, one of the toughest jobs out there.
Yeah, it takes a
Hmm.
lot of time.
It takes a lot of time. You got to go to the gym, you got to cook, you got to, like, there's so little time to actually learn, and then not just time, but also energy. So I would, block maybe 2 to 3 hours each day, just in the middle of the day, and
Hmm.
get to learning. It can be whatever, maybe it's painting, maybe it's lock picking. I know that one's popular among people these
Mm.
days for some reason. It sounds kind
Miscreants.
of dope. Like,
Yeah.
I would love to be able to pick a lock, but like, I gotta be doing that when I'm done with everything at like 8 p.m. Come on now, I want to play
Yeah.
video games then. So I would
Yeah, dude.
I would take the time to do something like that. Now, what kind of fucked up thing do you have planned?
Yeah, I got some fucked up shit.
Yeah.
first one, I was sort of thinking like, yeah, learn something new, like go to a camp of some sort, like a boot camp or whatever.
Yeah.
And one that I saw that isn't quite going to work out, but was interesting. You can go to like stunt double training camp. They host it in the summers. And you can just like learn how to just get destroyed, or look like you're getting destroyed, but actually be okay. Like that would be something that sounds pretty cool to do.
Yeah.
And it also sounds like a challenge because I'm sort of a chicken when it comes to heights. And I think it'd be very fun to like, push that to the limit a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't think that one's going to work out, but that was like in that same vein of like learn a new skill, get some sort of certification, like do something,
Yeah.
On the opposite end, it was like this do nothing where they have, it's a meditation type called Vipassana, I think is how you pronounce it, where it's a 10-day retreat where you basically do nothing but meditate.
Is that the one where you're not allowed to talk?
I don't think I haven't looked into it a whole lot, but like my understanding of it is it's mostly meditating. You'll get lectured at a little bit. You'll have some tea breaks. And besides that, you're just like silent and meditating. I was like, that would be interesting too. That would be a very cool experience. And going to a center for that is free. They accept donations, but you don't need to pay anything.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
It just takes 10 days and it's pretty hard to get on the wait list, understandably. But
so question, Jonas,
yeah.
While you're at the retreat, can you record the podcast? Because if not, you might not be able to do it.
Yeah.
You got to sneak out. That's why I'm picking up lock picking before I do it. The last one that I think is probably the winner so far in terms of what I was thinking about doing. There's this website called WWOOF, I think .org. I'm going to double check that before I send everybody on it.
Again with the furries, Jonas? Come on.
Okay. WWOOFUSA.org. And what this is you basically do like you go live on somebody's farm and you do work for them and they feed you and house you for however long. It can be months, it could be weeks. Okay. I think that'd be sort of cool to do for a couple of weeks. You just show up to somebody's house and you're like, yeah, I'll work on the farm with you. In return, I'm going to hang out with your boys. You're going to feed me and I'm going to get a little room here. Like, I think that sounds like a pretty interesting way to spend a couple of weeks if you're completely detached from the internet or whatever other things you typically need to be doing.
I'm looking at the website. It's one of those things where I wish I hadn't been broken down by internet cynicism. Because when I'm looking at this, I'm like, oh my God, I wouldn't be caught dead. But
no,
I understand why other people would enjoy it.
You wouldn't be caught dead doing it, huh?
Absolutely not.
Why not, dude?
Bro, I've been tending to your goats all day. Pay me.
I just think it'd be a good experience. Like, for me right now, this isn't about getting money or doing anything. It's just like, what's an experience I wouldn't be able to have normally?
That is fair.
I have this month. Mm-hmm. I just want to do something new, Twist the script a little bit. Flip it on its head.
Yeah, that is a big script flip. Go live on a farm and homestead.
Yeah.
What if you decided which one you were going to do right now?
I don't even know what time I need to be around Madison right now. So that would be sort of tricky because I do have some obligations while I'm here that were pre-planned.
Aww.
There are a couple near you. A farm home with a focus on sustainability and community.
Restoring I think that's all of them.
Ecosystems. Well, this one's restoring ecosystems for harmonious living in my little corner of the world. So don't you feel foolish now. Yeah. You know what? Maybe it's not so bad.
Here's one. Veteran-operated pistachio farm with authentic Adobe-style accommodations.
Okay.
Okay.
There's some wild stuff going on.
Damn, there's CSA farm with veggies, chickens, pigs, and soon sheep. Ooh, you get to be there for the inaugural sheep herding session.
Yeah, you get to throw a bottle of wine at them or whatever they do with new sheep.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
We would ask woofers to spend an average of 5 hours a day, 5 days a week to working, learning on projects. Hey, that's not too bad. 25 hours a week.
Yeah, sounds interesting though. But that's really all I got on what I do with a month off. I'm curious though, for the listeners, if you had a month off free of your normal obligations to try to experience something new, what would you do?
Great question. Let us know in the comments. I think that's gonna do it for episode 10, the double digit episode.
Yeah, double digits. Who thought? They said it couldn't be done.
The haters were wrong.
They were wrong.
All of our ops are weeping right now.
Yep.
Thank you all for listening, and we'll see you next time. Bye.